Well, are you listening me? Some of you, can you answer me? I cannot see the participants. Well, I believe that occurs some problem because I'm not seeing you. Okay? Well, I intend to begin my presentation. Well, it's a pleasure, a big pleasure to me to present this issue, this very important issue for you. At this moment, never done the times ago. This issue is so very important for all the people, for all the organizations and governments. Uh, my issue is called Management and Technology, Research for the Future. And I'm José Edson Lara. I'm Brazilian from Minas Gerais. So I began to say that managing technology strategy requires a sophisticated cognitive attributes. Well, the personal conditions of the strategists as an executive or and as a researcher depends on the cognitive attributes like intelligence, capacity of learning, memory, and so on. It is the activity, the function, the thinking in technology or in the strategy is very, very complex, very, very kind of domain in cognitive attributes. So, for example, I can put out the evolution of the individual capacity of executives and researchers in the context of technology administration. Firstly, the domain required from an executive is the domain of data. In this time, for example, data is a profusion of data in our the environment of the internet and in the other environments. The domain, each domain is it's is a virtue of the strategist, the mind of the strategist. The other aspect of the domain is the information. Information is the ability to transform data in putting some utilities to use in another in some system. The third step of this domain is the domain of knowledge that's composed by the data domain and the more information domain. So the knowledge is a complex conditions for humans and especially for the strategists and the researchers in all the issues, but mainly in the context of organizations and in the context of the educational studies. The next, I point out the capacity of the understanding or the comprehensiveness of the environment, the several kind of the environment actors that impact on the strategies and on the strategy aspects. The strategy propose to domain of discover and to implement some activities or some engineer device, for example. And the next domain is the domain of the to capacity to solve all the aspects that are very important to apply in the organizations and in research. And the final aspect, the aspect of the aspect is the wisdom. Wisdom is a rare capacity, and in is more common in the professionals that are in, that have for a long time experience in these two environments, the organizations and the university contests. Well, now I will speak about a little aspects of the classical technology and illustrated theories and models that are important to understand the the environment of the organizations and and what they can offer to the researchers in all aspects, being in organizations and into the academy. Well, uh, for a very long time, the researchers, uh, um, as as a university professional or as consultant of the firms specialized in this contest, they put out some aspects that are very important to consider in the research or in the actuation in the marketing. In this case, the organization is the center of the, the activities, and this is influenced by the political aspects, political influence, and the economic influence, and the social cultural influence, the technological influence, the environmental influence, and the legal influence. These six aspects, this is cause of influence, determine the organization profile and the organizational results. This is this model was studied since some decades. Well, another model that's more complex is the point out the pointing out the organization that influenced by the strategic position, the strategic choice, and the strategic interaction. Well, these three variables, these three constructs determine the organization profile and the organization performance to attend the client, the customer, and the marketing as a whole. Well, each one of these three constructs is determined by the constructs of the second order, like, for example, the strategic position is dependent of the environment, of the strategic capability, and the expectation and purpose. The strategic choice is a construct dependent of the corporate level and strategies, business level strategies, and the development directions and methods. And finally, the strategic interaction is a dependent variable, explained by the independent variable as organizing, enabling, and managing change. This is a very interesting and I see and stronger model to be studied and to be put in execution for the organizations. Mm. Another model that I can present you is the not a model, but the conditions that in that that caused induce the genesis of the strategies. Well, uh, according to this categorization, it can put out the military genesis. That's a classic motive for strategic creation strategy for organization, but it is more present in the military organizations, and it assumes that the actually that the activities is conducted are conducting in a context of top-down orders, top-down determinations, and this is a characteristic of military genesis. The second one is the biological genesis. That's that assumes that the evolution of organization is dependent on the competence that one organization have in cooperation and has in cooperation with another organizations. Well, this is characterized by the survival of the more competence, the more competitive is the organization. The third genesis of technology is the economic genesis. That assumes that if, for example, if there is one object and have two interested in this object in this point, born a strategy, and strategic depend on the economic genesis or characterize the economic genesis. The fourth genesis is the technological genesis that assumes that a technological strategy is originated by the competence in technological success. And the fifth genesis is the operational, procedural genesis. This genesis is explained by the conditions inside of the organization, the inside of the manufacturer park, for example. Is the influence of the daily activities inside of the organization. Well, these five aspects characterize the genesis of the strategies for organization, and it's interesting to consider it in researches in several aspects. The strategy was studied by a lot of researchers, a lot of consultants, professionals, and in this case, I present you the contribution of Mintzberg, Allstott, and Lambel, and they characterized the strategies born from the three conditions, like the perspective school, deriving in design, planning, and position, and descriptive schools with the six aspects component by six aspects: the entrepreneurial, cognitive, and entrepreneurship, apprenticeship, power, cultural, and environmental. Well, these six conditions are used to characterize, to allow a descriptive aspects of one organization. But unless the organization is characterized under these descriptive schools, it's more present in in the reality of the organizations or in the daily activities, the prescriptive schools. So finally, they characterized mixed schools composed by the mixed aspects that was approached earlier. Well, another model that is very so much studied in the literature is the marketing orientation scale. The marketing orientation scale or Markov scale characterize the marketing orientation that is explained by the intelligence generation, the intelligence dissemination, and the responsiveness. Um, they are influenced by top management and the interdepartmental dynamics and the organization systems, and are influenced ahead from the characteristics, the power of employees, the environment, and the business performance. Mm, for example, I used this model to study a lot of organizations, and I have some articles published in the literature in this area. Uh, well, now I put other models, the classical models, to study competitiveness, the state of the competitiveness of an organization. First one was provided by Mason and Bain, Joe Bain, and they characterize the condition of actuation of the organizations by structure, conduct, and performance in 1930. But in 1962, Alfred Chandler challenged the Mason Bain model, and he concluded that the truth aspects in the organization is the strategy, structure, and relationship. So, and this consideration is more common in the academic papers that are in use nowadays. And Scherer in 1980, in its article Industrial Marketing Structure and Economics Performance, he put out some industrial organization areas of study composed by the marketing, power, and the collusion. Well, there are a lot of models, but I present you another robust model that I intensively considered in to characterize the profile of an organization in the environment, in the external environment, for example. And one of these structures is the monopoly. The monopoly is characterized by one firm that explore all the market, all the customers and consumers in some marketing. Um, the second aspect of the marketing structure is the oligopoly. The oligopoly is consisted by the few firms that explore all the conditions, all the possibilities of the market, approaching the the customers and the consumers in, for example, in the entire marketing. The monopolist competition is a condition that uh, uh, that, for example, the organization's products, the devices or their services. The dynamic of the organizations indicates that it can that they can um, elaborate some gradual, some little evolutions in in devices or in the service to be more competitive. So each aggregated aspect of the model of the device or the service is characterizing a monopolist competition. So all the organizations are all the time trying to get some aggregated factor for its device or its services. And the perfect competition is characterized by a lot of organizations producing identical products to all the marketing. So the entering in non-marketing does make difference for the marketing, and the left of often participant cannot cannot difficult the conditions of the marketing. This is not allowing some weight that will be strongly influenced in the market. Well, but abuse technology drive the strategies, and the structure must be consistent with each element of this market structure. And this is this model is very interesting, and it was offered by Scherer in 1965 of the last Siegel. Well, another model that I consider that's very interesting is it's called the evolution and the revolution as organization grow, and its contribution is provided by Larry Greiner, and he compared the design of organization since small to large, and with the time, comparing the age of organization, young organization to mature organization. Well, in this case, the evolution of the organizations depends on the periods of evolution and the periods of revolution. Revolution, and technology is one of the aspects that condition the organizations to pass for another to all this phase to organization to get this trajectory in its life. Well, the one of the most important questions put out by the Larry Greiner was in these aspects or in this time, what can the organizations do to 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 continue the evolution, or maybe which kind of the revolution it will have in the future. This is a very important model to allow the organization, the strategies in organizations to to prepare to plan the future, and to the researchers to consider it in which phase is one organization, and how can the technology can contribute to evolution and to avoid the revolution in the time. On that another model was created by Jay Forrester, which is called the systems dynamics model. It's a very interesting model, very interesting model, and the organizations apply this model all the time to consider how its environment to deal with, to get competitiveness, to discover marketing, to get more customers or consumers. And the creation of this model allows to his owner, Jay Forrester, to create very big consulting firm, uh, and this model is it's you, too useful to researchers. And well, I published some articles applying this model, and discover, you can, and I could prove that this is very useful to know to know the environment of the organizations and the influence of the organization in the environment. Another classical theories addressing technological status are, for example, the construction of technological status scenarios. The word actually is is lacking of scenarios professionals, and this is a good opportunity for you or for all the people that intend to be comprehensive in the aspects of the market. Another theory is interesting in the too useful is the resource-based view model, and Porter's five-force model is very known. And this theory, it is taught in the graduate programs, for example. The model of strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats, and it's a very known model. The BCG grown market share model, né, is very popular model too. The McKinsey 7 years model, I think that is that explain adequately one environment, but it's so difficult to research in. The market attractiveness and strength model, it's a common model that are studied in strategy. The strategic map template. The strategic map template was created também to allows to have a whole view of one organization and its function and its structure. The balanced scorecard model. This model is directed to verify the quantitative metrics to of an organization in some periods, and it's so good to compare this with the metrics of the competitions. Strategic technological implementation model. This nowadays this is more popular model. This CRM model, that's very common for organizations nowadays. Blue ocean strategy. Well, this is another model, and it's studied all the time, or it's common in the speech of professionals and the conferencists. Some more recent theories and theoretical contributions in technological strategy. Well, I put one model that is not true is not strongly utilized by in research, but in consideration to analyze some markets, yeah, is interesting. And in this comparison of the society, the science and the technology with its implications for technology in the use of scientific knowledge for a specific goal or purpose of one organization. This is a model that can be explored in research from in this time and forward. Well, another common model is the triple X model. The triple X model was created by Erkovitz and Leidesdorf in 1995, and in this usual until nowadays is and a lot of economists study the market in these three conditions, but and it is constituted by the activities of the government or state, of the academy, of the or organizations and research institutes, and the industry. So these three aspects characterize the conditions to the development of organization, of a region, of a city, or from country. And it's called three helix because it looks an helix of one that move some economy. But as Erkovitz and Leidesdorf created this model, another researcher, Karayan, Sparks, and Campbell evolved the three helix model to a quintuple helix model, and in its articles, the articles, well, oh, the quintuple helix innovation model, global warming is a challenge and driver for innovation. Uh, This is a recent model. This article was published in 2012, and is composed by the same Alexis proposed by Erkovitz and Leidesdorf early. The Alex is are composed by the government, the economy, and the higher education, but they included civil society and natural environments of society. So, putting two more ellipses, the model can be more well explained, and it allows to characterize the activities of the actors to contribute to development of one region. For example, this is another variance of the model. Okay, and we use it in research that we produced and published 2 years ago. In the study realized published by Lara, Esteves, Victor Cremonese, and Rodrigo Mendes Ribeiro, we published the article called "The Quintuple Helix Modeling Technological Innovation: Characterization the Status of Business Acceleration in a Metropolitan Region." Well, we consider in the center of the model the business accelerator, but the helix was the government, firms, universities, society, and the environmental. Well, and these five aspects that are the constructs of the first word in the model, and that were explained. Which one of was explained by the independent variable influencing the dependent variable. That is independent variable to explain the business state accelerator. So we have a very good impact with this article, and allows to get a good explanation of the market. Well, another model is commonly in nowadays, and is used to characterize the determinants of technology-based strategic change. So the strategic change of the or technological strategic change is the time, the scope, preservation, diversity, capability, capacity, readiness, and power. So these eight constructs explain the strategic change in strategic change programs in organization. But the critical element to activate this aspect is the technology. How the technology is acting to impact the aspects that characterize successful strategies in the organization. This is a good model to study in putting out to the critics. Well, another model that was proposed by Johnson, Scholz, and Witten too, and they had they get a comparison of competition and collaboration in strategic technology management. And the competitiveness is a dependent variable from independent variable that are called that is increased selling power, increased buying power, increased barriers to entry, decrease to risk, enter into new markets, strategic shared work with customers, and stakeholder expectations. Well, all these aspects can influence the results of organizations and technology in competition or in collaboration can improve the benefits of an organization. Well, here I'm presenting you some models that are oriented for for creating and testing hypotheses that can verify the organization performance and influenced by the technology. This is a good model to be used now and forward. This is another model that is utilized intensively too. So another model is the technology acceptance model. This model is intensively studied at this moment, and the literature is becoming too rich in explain this technological model. Well, some aspects that are verified in the research is for example, the creation and description of scales, attitude toward the innovations, attitude toward the product, behavior intention, communication of product usage outcomes, compatibility of the product, compatibility of the complexity of the product, innovation ability for the company, innovativeness of the consumer, involvement with technology usage, motivation, and so on. A lot of aspects the researchers can explore to explain the technology acceptance model. Well, this is a strong model to be studied by researchers. Well, another model is the implementing technological strategy in corporations. Well, this can put out to verify it can put out the challenge to the researchers to verifying the process of the implement technological state incorporations. The, the some of technologies is easily to implement to be implemented, but a lot of technologies, for example, the disruptive technologies is improved, is applied in consideration of a lot of aspects that can characterize the exit or the successful of the of a company efforts. And another model is this cycle of technology planning corporations. Well, it's similar the another model that I explained to you, and the researchers can use this flux, use the evolution to analyze the organization evolution or the implementation of some technologies in the market. Okay, well, this is another model that I investigate in my partners, and my partners use the model to study the Chinese technology. I study of the manage and the desire for possession using the technology readiness index scale, and this is a model that is study applying the smart PLS or partial squares, and we tested nine hypotheses, and six of them was confirmed, and three was not confirmed. Well, this is a study where we could to put out the elements as the desire of possessions using the technology readiness index 3 scale. The social aspects, the social response of the in relationship to one technology is a field, a very interesting field to be studied in this context. Another study that I produced and it was published in the Brazilian academic is the brief of new world from the perspective of the triad, Internet of Things, people in marketing. Well, we consider the technology, the use of technological device that at the first moment it produced some enchantment to the consumers, but maybe in few days, who knows, the consumers will evaluate the device, and they can be satisfied or not satisfied with the technology. If for the people that who are not satisfied, this satisfaction can be characterized by the cognitive dissonance of the customers, and this the cognitive dissonance can be derived in anger or in revenge. What is the purpose of the to customers to exercise the revenge in relation to the product that didn't satisfy its function in the market? Well, this is a study that we became very satisfied with the impact of this article, this this paper in the scientography environment. Okay. Well, another study that we realized was it was did for me, Silva Júnior, Rodrigo Medeiros Ribeiros, and Victor Cremonese, and this article is called Ethics in the Fourth Industrial Revolution: A Perspective on the Main Influences. Well, our intention was use the five helices, but when they studied, it was a survey, and when the survey was put in factor analysis, one of the aspects was divided in two groups, and we have to accept the model using six aspects, unless the five aspects of the classic model. Okay. Well, it's a very, it's curious, but we may be prepared for this, for the conditions of the market. Okay. One aspect that I can approach to you is the theoretical saturation. What's the theoretical saturation? Theoretical saturation occurs in the moment that one theory is exhaustively explored in the research by the academy in all the contexts, in all contexts, for example. This is obtained comparing the intensity of scientific production and dissemination compared with the time. For example, one issue is in this point. Well, there are few articles published, but the time of the history, the trajectory of this theory is not long. Well, this period it can characterized by a turbulence, a theoretical turbulence. A lot of studies are produced and published in a few time. So forward the studies that are produced, they aren't present some news to the academy, to the enrichment of the theory. So at this point, the theory is yet considered yet. So it's very important to the students, to the researchers, know about the state of the art of one knowledge. This is very interesting to the researchers. This characterize the maturity of the students to produce to choose its research field. Well, this is a model that I consider very, very important to evaluate scientific and technological knowledge. This model was derived from the study of Kellinger in 80s of the Pesquisas, and in its article, he considered the epistemological pole, the theoretical pole, the morphological pole, and the methodological pole. So I aggregate two other poles that I will explain you just now. The epistemological pole can explain the level of the maturity of one scientific and technological knowledge by the dialectic conditions. How is the epistemological how rich is the epistemological aspects of one issue that one is trying to study. or how can the students is dialogue about this issue or this method to application in fact the researchers. The other aspect is the phenomenology, and it can to try to can to get the answer to questions like how can how is the how is being complete the study in some issue in some area. The quantification is oriented to the, the capacity to one knowledge be expressed in numbers. The hypothetical deductive logic is the conditions for one knowledge to be reduced in hypotheses that can explain the model, the model or one model, and to explain best from best one field of knowledge. And the contrast of the hypothesis is allowing the richness of knowledge. The second pole is the theoretical pole, that is characterized by the uh, the answers that can put and that be challenged by the researchers. How can uh, one knowledge put in affirmative aspects to confirm the validation of a theory? The understanding or comprehensiveness aspect of one theory. How can the one theory explain entirely some phenomena? The functionalism intend to explain how is functioning the one knowledge in the aspects of being in practice. Structuralism, how can the one knowledge be expressed in diagrams or in structures that can be constructed by researchers in some time, in some place. The morphological pole is characterized by the typologies of one knowledge. For example, how can the how can one knowledge be compared with another? The ideal type existing some models which the model that can best explain some kind of knowledge. Systems, how can the one knowledge is being aggregate in another field of study and input some impacts of one aspect in the organization, the marketing, or in the academic environment. The structural models, how can the one knowledge be formed in the in aspect, in formal aspect that can contribute to the forward of this study. The methodological pole is explained by the several kinds of methodological aspects of foreign research. That is a qualitative, quantitative aspect, comparative analysis, case studies, documentary research, or ground theory, or another kind of methodology that can explain and can aggregate knowledge in one literature. The technological pole that is explained by statistics softwares. There are a lot of statistical softwares in the market, and each one is being good contributions to the precision of the data. But and so the challenge is to choose the right issue, the right methods, the right theoretical aspect to be put in contrast by some research. The specific device, well, in several areas, for example, in medical studies, or in the engineering environment, there are a lot of devices that can be used to explain or to contribute to get more knowledge in one field. Several motors, artificial intelligence, and sensors. Well, this is a very strong aspect that characterize the technological pole of one scientific and technological knowledge. And finally, the metric pole. Oh, I'm sorry. The metric pool that's characterized by the statistical metrics and in the other specific metrics that in our kind of science it's possible to get metrics to improve the knowledge in some area. Well, this is a very interesting model to study and characterize the evolution and the revolution in scientific and technological knowledge. Well, and for future, I can put out some issues to be studied by the researchers and to be applied in the organizations. For example, it's a strong conditions to evolve the knowledge, considering the aspects of the understand the life cycle of a theory in science and technology, the creation description of scales. Well, the how can one knowledge that is in trajectory of the life cycle, how can it derive in scales that can explain entirely the issue that you can study mainly in small theories. Well, I have to condition that I have to consider that if one is working in the big theories, is so difficult to construct scales and to submit them in validations. But in short theories, is it possible? As Thomas Kuhn in its study as a science philosophy, he put the conditions that characterize the paradigm of knowledge and the difficult to characterize and to study all the aspects of one paradigm. So I consider the two in this, at this moment to submitting the scales in validations of the model. For example, utilizing the discriminant validation, convergent validation, and nomological validation. The discriminant validation is the capacity of one variable, how it can be discriminant for another one. Is derived from the mathematics, the study in mathematics, in discriminant analysis. Another aspect is the convergent validation. This means that that or occurs when one variable and the second variable and the third variable, for example, can converge to explain another one another variable. Okay, uh, for example, one variable, the second variable, third variable, explain conjointly in different levels of explanation or different level of meanings, but these three variables can explain another variable. This is a convergent validation. And the nomological validation is the capacity of an organization to be explained by um, by several variables simultaneously. And the statistical packages can uh, put out the nomological validations frequently and discussing the results with the literature at the same level of the theory's life cycle. Well, this is a very interesting aspect of studies in, in science and technology in all aspects. That is to once one have some results of one research, this result it may be compared with the another studies utilizing the same variables in the context in different contexts or in different situations, but the comparison have to be consistent to to allows comparativeness of the studies. So some critical aspects for business management based on the science and technology. For example, develop products and services with cost reduction for customers in mind. Think about technological risks, products and services with a rapid life cycle. Share risk with the business work. Develop strategies to face macro uncertainties. Develop partnership to reduce technological gaps. Develop strategies for new social and marketing manifestation or new niches. The ESG practices to the organization. This is a very strong aspect to be that is studying nowadays, and develop new steps that converge to the new technologies in the new markets, like for example in the theory of product place. Observe the new configurations of international finance and technological markets. Well, this is frequently in the consideration of the status in the financial markets, like for example in Nasdaq or in another in another center of negotiation of capitals. Develop current systems and process on artificial intelligence platform and quantum computing. Well, this is a very interesting aspect, and the challenge is very big because the knowledge is growing intensively nowadays. Develop develop structures to operate in closed business models and in the open business models. Well, this is one aspect that's very interesting because the organizations that produce innovations, some of these innovations is generated in the inside of the organization, and another one is or and other are products in the partnership with in universities and in other organizations. Well, Well, this is all that I intended to present you until this moment. Now I'm ready to listen your questions or critics, and I'm expecting for it. Thank you very much. Now, Professor, okay? No one? No one? Well, I will call